Today on Night TV, artists put their brushes to the test, students get a jump start on their careers, and an IHS legend retires.
Ever to conquer, never to yield. For Independence High School, this is Night TV.
Athletic director and football coach Kyle Story is retiring with 34 years of coaching under his belt.
My dad had always been a coach, and my mom was always a teacher, so I was always school and education was always a big part of our lives. I actually got a finance degree in college, and I was a stockbroker. I went and got my Series 7 license and was a stockbroker for about a year and a half, and I wasn't really happy in what I was doing and wasn't enjoying it, and I knew that coaching and teaching was what I wanted to do. I ended up getting a job at McKinney. There was an opening for a math teacher and got in there coaching and teaching in McKinney, and it just felt right when I got back into that. Yeah. We opened up in 2014, and Mr. Walliger was coming over as principal from Heritage, and he and Coach Kirkendall both gave me an opportunity here to open it up as athletic coordinator and head football coach in 2014. In high school, I got to play for Gordon Wood down in Brownwood, Texas, and the old people like me know who he is because he was one of the winningest coaches ever, and I got to play on his last state championship team. So I always wanted to get back into coaching football, and that felt right once I started doing that. Not all the memories are of football games. A lot of them are just the relationships that we make with coaches and players and teachers, everybody here at the school, our administration. But one of my favorite games was the one over at the Colony when we beat them in double overtime right at the end of the game, and then the other one was a trip out to Texarkana in the second round of the playoffs when we went out to Texarkana and beat Texas High in the second round. So both of those were games that I really remember. I do remember all of them, but the thing that I really cherish and it's important to me are all the relationships that I've got with all the people here at Independence. That's what's the most rewarding part. I've always thought that you really don't know how good you are as a coach until 20 years down the road when you see how those guys have turned out in their personal lives. And when they turn out successful in all three areas of their lives, physically, mentally, and spiritually, when they're successful in all three areas of their lives like that, that's when you know you've done a pretty good job as a coach. Well, the most important thing is to bring that energy every day. I've always said that if you're smart enough to get a college degree, then you're smart enough to learn X's and O's of any sport. But really, they've got to have a heart for making an impact with student athletes and come to work every day with a great energy and excitement about being around young people. And a lot of times being with them helps you stay excited about it as well. They keep us young, in other words. Well, I've just enjoyed it. And matter of fact, when I was interviewing for the job, I told them that I was planning on staying for a while. I wanted to end my career here and retire here is what I told them, and hadn't really looked for that many opportunities throughout the years. If somebody called me, I might talk to them. But it's been a great place to be, the best administration I've ever been around. Mr. Walliger and the rest of our assistant principals are awesome to work with. The teaching staff here are great to work with, and our coaching staff is the same way. Everybody gets along well, and everybody's got the best interests of the students at heart. And that's what makes it a great place here at Independence. I guess the most important thing is that we really did what was best for the student athletes here, that we didn't make decisions based on whether somebody was a good football player or a bad football player. We wanted to give everybody a chance to succeed, and hopefully that's what we'll be remembered for with our staff, is that we've got the best interests of the students at heart, and that we love them and care about them and want to see them succeed, and not necessarily anything related to wins and losses or a school board, but what's really in their heart and how they go on to be successful as, like I said earlier, as fathers and spouses and in their careers, and somebody that's going to come out and bring the work ethic every day. So hopefully we did a small piece to make an impact on some of their lives that way. That's the main thing that we would want to be remembered as.
Despite not being here at IHS, soon you'll be able to find Coach Story at any golf course.
The IHS softball season has started, and its players have already grown strong bonds despite the team's size.
The IHS softball team is full of girls new to the sport, but many of the players, such as freshman Stormy Daniel, find that the familial environment makes being new a little easier.
I think the best part is like the bond me and the girls have, and the coaches treat us very well. I think the season's going to be pretty good.
Coach Stephanie Cameron also has hope for her team.
Just like watching our players succeed and all the hard work that they're putting in, for it to pay off for them, that is, it's just a really fun thing to watch.
Though this team has potential, like any other sport, there will be challenges along the way.
I think we're going to struggle with communication a little bit and trying not to get upset with each other because it's a whole brand new team.
9 players are needed on the softball field to play the game. The Knights have just over that.
And us being a small group, it does make it more hard. And I think we'll be good. Small but mighty.
Despite being a small team, the girls have a lot of support behind them.
Definitely my parents and my coaches, because my parents always helped me team. My dad coached me for years.
The IHS girls softball team is excited for the season and is looking forward to playing the sport they love. For Night TV, I'm Caroline Bressler.
If you're looking to support the softball team, head down to Wakeland High School at 6:30 to watch our Knights face off. Art students spend months on their work in hopes of making it to the state competition, also known as VASE. One foreign exchange student in particular took his shot at the competition.
VASE, the Visual Art Scholastic Competition, showcases the work of talented artists across the state of Texas. Simon Halles, a foreign exchange student from Belgium, entered his piece entitled Submerged in Luxury.
As you can see, the water is green, and the green of the water actually represents a lot of things. At first, it represents riches and money, because I wanted to depict the difference of the economic situation here in America and in Belgium, where I come from. Because I noticed here that the way people spend money is very different.
Halles noted that here in Texas, everything really is bigger.
The neighborhoods are bigger, the houses are bigger, you have more jobs.
Halles will head to state on April 29th, right before he heads back to Belgium.
Well, it's pretty great experience in general, because as I said, I was really anxious. I had a lot of social anxiety. So actually, it's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here.
Another competitor, Diksha Bombada, looks to snag her second gold seal.
In my piece, it portrays the good and the bad, and it's just like a cycle of emotions. Nothing is permanent in your life. Everything's temporary. Here I am, got state and gold seal last year, and on the way to state this year. So really happy that I listened to her, and she's what motivates me every single day to do this.
Bombada takes a moment to remember where her passion for art came from.
My mom actually inspired me to get into art because she's loved art her whole life, and she's just always wanted me to pursue that.
Artwork is driven by different ideas and experiences wherever you may come from, making each piece unique from another. Night TV News, Layla AJ.
Students competing at the VASE competition can earn gold, silver, and bronze steels. Stay tuned to see how our artists do.
Independent Study and Mentorship, also known as ISM, is a class where students are able to study and research an in-depth career field of their choosing. Students find a mentor in that field to help get a real-world experience. Night TV's Philip Solis headed to the ISM showcase to see what this year's students have learned.
High school students are asked at a young age to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their life. It can be intimidating. The ISM class at IHS aims to guide those students into a career path they're passionate about, or even rule out some fields.
ISM is their future. Many of these students learn what they really want to do, or to me, I think, which is even better, what they absolutely know they do not want to do through ISM. And when they do that, they get to go to college and they're very focused on their major. Very few ISM students change their major. And so they're able to then quickly matriculate through college and enter the workforce in whatever way they can and really maximize their talent.
Students contact people in the field of their choice and dive deep into researching that job. The Frisco ISD Showcase allowed these students to show off their research. Mateo Alvarez, an inspiring journalist, created an app that is designed to detect bias within news stories, all during his ISM class.
So basically, the first semester I sort of designed and conceptualized an application that is very easily digestible and helps the user better understand what is biased or what is misunderstood from this story, to make sure that everyone has a common understanding and there's no way that any discrepancies could be made. So that sort of everyone has an equal understanding of stories and news and media.
Another ISM student dove into the medical field.
So far I've been working on neuroradiology, which is a field related to, so essentially you take scans of the brain or even the spine and you can read them and then you send them out to the surgeon or the doctor who has to treat them. So basically you tell them what you got to do and where the issue is.
37 IHS students participated in the showcase, each interested in pursuing a different career. For Night TV News, I'm Philip Solis.
If you're interested in taking ISM next year, you could stop by at the counselor's room or by Mr. Ray's room to get an application. This year, IHS welcomes the American Sign Language Club. Night TV's Ariana Reed visited the club and what the students can look forward to.
As the new year has already begun, new clubs emerged this school year here at IHS. ASL, the American Sign Language Club, takes a start at independence, helping students learn more about sign language and different phrases that can be used. Shresha Ghosh, a senior here at IHS and one of the founders of the ASL Club, gives more insight about the ASL Club and the importance of understanding more about sign language.
This club, we work together to learn sign language. We work as a group to practice phrases and words that we may need to use in the real world. And this also provides an alternative for people who weren't able to take the ASL class due to scheduling conflicts or they couldn't take it because of COVID last year or something like that. So this is just an alternative, and it will help to practice this skill that's really helpful in the real world. And I think it's just a super important thing to know.
Similarly, Sky, a former student at IHS and who is hard of hearing, talks about the impact using ASL has had on them.
It's opened a lot of more opportunities, especially as a hearing person. You can see different perspectives from people who can't hear. So you're learning their language and you're learning how to communicate with them, and it shows you more emphasis on body language and facial emotions and just a bunch of other things. And it also helps open to more opportunities when you apply for jobs and stuff, and you're saying oh, I speak English, but I also know ASL. So when I go to my daytime job and I'm working with customers and some of them are hard of hearing, I can sign oh, would you like a table or a booth? So it just helps with communication a lot more.
ASL Club meetings will be held in C119, and more information can be found on their Remind. For Night TV News, this is Ariana Reed.
Coming up on the IHS calendar, the IHS JV and varsity track teams are competing in a meet at Ron Poe Stadium.
The girls varsity soccer team will be playing against Frisco High School from 5:30 to 7. Boys varsity soccer plays against Frisco High School here at home at 7:15.
Girls varsity softball will play against Wakeland at Wakeland High School starting at 6:30. Tomorrow, boys powerlifting will compete at Keller Central High School. If you've been selected for Shattered Dreams, remember we are filming our mock party scene at a designated location discussed in the meeting.
For Night TV, I'm Sam Rainey.
And I'm Layla AJ. Be sure to check us out on YouTube and Night Press to stay up to date on all things IHS. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.